Welcome to Flashback, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. On Monday, the National Emergency Management Agency confirmed that the death toll from the illegal refinery explosion in Imo State rose to 110. The agency's head of operations in the state, Ifeanyi Naji, revealed that authorities were planning a mass burial for the victims. The NEMA official explained that emergency responders recovered more bodies near the scene of the explosion, while others were confirmed dead at various hospitals where they were receiving treatment. On illegal activities capable of causing disasters such as this. Meanwhile, people of Abeze community are yet to recover from Friday's explosion. They blamed the incident on government's inability to create jobs for the youth.
I don't think that any youth of our own age who is looking for a better life will resort to just choose to be engaged in this kind of activities. But unemployment rate is too high in this local government. We are just neglected and abandoned. The companies around here are not taking their responsibilities in terms of what is the benefit accrued to the host communities.
I mean, I'm not saying our leaders are happy with what the youth are doing. Talking about the illegal bunkering and all that. I can't be happy engaging myself in such a... But when you look at things, I feel they are frustrated.
As part of a federal government agency, it's on ground to see things as it has happened and probably come up with a recommendation that will assist both the federal and the state government, not just bringing relief materials to cushion the effect of what has happened, but a lasting solution on these illegal businesses.
And still on Monday, the board of Twitter agreed to a $44 billion takeover offer from the billionaire Elon Musk. Mr. Musk, who made the shock bid less than 2 weeks ago, said Twitter had tremendous potential that it would unlock. He also called for a series of changes from relaxing its content restrictions to eradicating fake accounts. The firm initially rebuffed Mr. Musk's bid, but has later asked shareholders to vote to approve the deal. Mr. Musk is the world's richest man, according to Forbes magazine, with an estimated net worth of $273.6 billion, mostly due to his shareholding in electric vehicle maker Tesla, which he runs. He also leads the aerospace firm SpaceX. On Tuesday, the Department of State Services uncovered a plot by suspected criminal gangsters that plans to attack worship and relaxation centers in parts of the country with improvised explosive devices. A statement by the Public Relations Officer Peter Afunaya alerted Nigerians, stating that the DSS has received reports on cases of such incidents in some areas. He also explained that the objective is to launch further attacks on critical infrastructure and other public places frequently visited. Mr. Afunaya warned managers and owners of worship and relaxation centers to be cautious and implement basic security measures to deter the threats. The DSS assured that although these plans are aimed at putting fear in the mind of Nigerians, its officials will continue to disrupt the trend and pattern of violent attacks. And still on Tuesday, legislative activities failed to resume at the House of Representatives after a 2-week Easter break. While the Senate resumed, the doors of the chambers of the House of Representatives was locked, with the sergeant at arms nowhere in sight. National Assembly correspondent Joke Atisa reports.
A text statement on Monday indicated the representative lawmakers will not be sitting due to ongoing renovation of the complex. The renovation exercise was in response to the embarrassing situation which occurs in the complex, especially during the rainy season. The construction company to carry out renovation work on the complex had indicated it required 16 months, and the National Assembly management arranged that both chambers use committee rooms to conduct plenary. But while the 109 membership strength of the Senate is relatively manageable, that of the House, comprising 360 members, is not, Apart from the renovation exercise, which has yet to commence, the House lost one of its members over the Easter break. Nse Ekpayong, until his death on Saturday, represented Oron Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. The House of Representatives wing was practically deserted on Tuesday, with no member in sight.
And moving on to other stories now, on Wednesday, the federal government approved 853.25 million naira to engage consultants for the concession of the Ajaokuta Steel Company and National Iron Ore Complex in Kogi State. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed disclosed this while briefing journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided by President Muhammadu Buhari.
The industrial revolution of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration may soon gain traction with the approval of transaction advisors on plans to concession the Ajaokuta Steel Company and the National Iron Ore Mining Complex in Itakpe, Kogi State. The moribund Ajaokuta Steel Company is expected to come alive after an initial delay caused by the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Efforts by previous governments since 1979 to make Nigeria become self-sufficient in the manufacturing of steel has never been successful. Maybe this time, President Buhari's administration will just break the jinx with the concessioning plan.
We believe that with this development, would have made significant steps in bringing back to life both the Ajaokuta Steel Complex and the Iron Ore Company in Itakpe, and fast forward the industrial revolution of Nigeria.
Council also approved the 2022 revised energy policy that seeks to harness the abundant energy sources available in the country and utilize it to enhance productivity in all sectors of the economy and also contribute to an improved supply of electricity across the country.
Nigeria is so blessed, and what we want to do is to make sure that we have a mix that will bring in all the various energy resources that Nigeria has for the benefit of our nation.
Before the commencement of this week's Federal Executive Council meeting, 4 new permanent secretaries were sworn in by President Muhammadu Buhari. The new permanent secretaries are Mrs. Beatrice Jedi Agba, Kacholom Daju, Malam Shehu Ibrahim, and Dr. Mary Ogwe.
And in its bid to complement the federal government's effort to tackle the disturbing spate of insecurity in the country, the Upper Legislative Chamber on Wednesday prohibited the payment of ransoms to kidnappers. The payment of kidnap ransom was criminalized by the lawmakers during Wednesday's plenary as they passed the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 Amendment Bill 2022. The prohibition by the lawmakers followed the receipt and consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the bill. Chairman of the committee, Senator Okwemi Bamdele, had moved that lawmakers receive the report, after which he presented it for consideration. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says the fight against insecurity is not the sole purpose of the government and the contributions, but support of citizens is also quite essential. On Thursday, a federal high court refused to grant suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari's co-defendant bail. The court also granted the NDLEA's application to review facts presented on the 2 defendants who have pleaded guilty in the ongoing trial in alleged cocaine deal. Justice Emeka Nwete, in a ruling, dismissed the objection raised by counsel to Abba Kyari and his co-defendant that granting the request bail might jeopardize their own case.
Justice Emeka Nwete ruled on whether reviewing facts presented on the 6th and 7th defendant who pleaded guilty would jeopardize the case of the defendants. He agreed with the NDLEA and counsel to both defendants that Mr. Kyari and other police officers had not given sufficient evidence that their case would be prejudiced if the court grants the request. He held that the objection lacked merit and ordered the NDLEA to commence the review of facts on the 6th and 7th defendant. Justice Uwete aligned with the arguments that keeping the two guilty defendants in prison during the length of the trial would infringe on their right to fair hearing, going by Section 36 subsection 4 of the Constitution. Justice Uwete subsequently adjourned to 26th of May. Counsel to Mr. Kyari Kanu Agabi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, had objected to the prosecuting lawyer's request. He said should the court convict and impose a sentence on the defendant, it would jeopardize the case of Kyari and the other 4 defendants.
Further application for bail for the rest of the defendants, apart from the fifth and 6th and 7th rather defendants. So for the 26th of May, we should be coming back here for review of facts, as well as taking the bail application for the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th defendants.
Still on Thursday, the industrial action embarked on by the Academic Staff Union of the University entered its 3rd month, and organized labor threatened to hold a 3-day strike and national protest if government continues to ignore the demands of the workers. They're also warming up for a 1-day protest after its 21-day ultimatum to government on ASU strike.
Nigerian workers will on Sunday join their counterparts the world over to commemorate this year's International Day for Workers, popularly called May Day. For workers in Nigeria, the prevailing state of insecurity and economic uncertainties cannot erode the essence of the day.
All that we have gotten was not given to us by any government. All that we have gotten as workers around the world was gotten through collective struggle, through the deployment of workers' power.
As the countdown to this year's May Day celebration begins, the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress hold this rally to sensitize the citizens. From the headquarters of the NLC, workers marched through the city center, arriving at the Federal Secretariat. The issues are multiple, from insecurity, worsening state of education, to rising inflation, and the labor leaders take the political leaders seriously to task. Labour decries the shutdown of public universities. It describes the IPPIS as a conduit pipe for corruption.
In between also this 21-day notice, there will be a 1-day national protest to speak centrally on the issue of the centrality of education. After the expiration of the 21 days, if nothing happens, that there will be a 3-day national strike.
The government must stand up to do everything possible to ease these pains, to do everything possible to ease these difficulties that is biting the Nigerian workers.
In a moment of reflection, workers appeal to those in position of authority to right the wrongs.
The crisis we are having is about mismanagement of resources, where the resources of the nation is in the hand of a very few powerful people.
I can say that government has failed us. This is just an opportunity for us to still let government know that we are here.
On Friday, the All Progressives Congress disclosed it's yet to decide on the zoning which will produce its 2023 presidential candidate. National Chairman Senator Abdullahi Adamu disclosed this while speaking to State House correspondents after presenting the party's candidate for the Ekiti governorship election, Biodun Oyebanji, to President Buhari. He said APC presidential flag bearer will be chosen at the convention of the party.
We will come out by the grace of God at the appropriate time with a candidate that the convention of our great party will choose. I do not want to speculate, but my duty as chairman is to listen to our party men, party leaders, stakeholders, to see what is going to be best when the time comes. And I have always found it easier and more noble to get to a bridge
before I jump to cross it. We are not yet there. Today, privileged to be the chairman of the party. The party is greater than me. The party has not made a decision, and I cannot preempt what the party decision will be.
And on Friday as well, the People's Democratic Party Screening Committee disqualified 2 of its aspirants. Chairman of the Screening Committee and former President of the Senate, David Musk, announced the development to journalists after the exercise in Abuja. But he declined to reveal the names of the disqualified aspirants, stating the affected persons failed to meet the necessary requirements. He also said the panel didn't make recommendations for refund of the nomination form fee to the disqualified aspirants. He added that the committee report would be submitted to the PDP National Working Committee. According to one of the aspirants, Senator Aim Pius Aim, the screening was designed to verify the candidate's membership and financial status, their academic credentials, and other requirements for a presidential candidate as spelled out in the Constitution. The family of Odinaka Igwe on Friday asked the police to ensure they keep to their promise of ensuring his killers are brought to book. Senior correspondent Ivy Kano visited the home of the second victim of the birthday party incident in Lagos and returned with this report.
Odinaka Igwe is an indigene of Iza South in Ebonyi State. His home has been taken over by sympathizers who came to console his young widow, Chidinma. Besides herself with grief, the computer science education student of Michael Okpara University of Agriculture said there was no sign that that Sunday would be the last she was going to see her husband, as he had left for the party from home.
I was cooking. He said she was going out for a birthday party. They broke the news to me that my husband is dead, that he was shot by a policeman at the birthday he went for.
Holding tightly to a 9-month-old baby girl, she prayed that her husband's killers are apprehended. Odinaka's cousin questions why the deceased, who was said to be seated at the party, was hit by the bullet straight to his heart.
Both of them were shot at his chest. So, seeing that incident, if it was just normal, maybe accidental shooting, I think it wouldn't have gotten the 2 of them at the same spot. So, one of the questions that arise from this is that, why do the hotel or bar allow policemen with rifle into an event center or into the bar?